Alright everyone, welcome back. It's noisy around us as people come and go on their way home or to club activities or prep school. We keep down our voices we talk in the midst of our after-school commotion.
三綴城のことか。
そう、誰が彼氏だと思う？
Naturally, we refrain from talking about this in loud voices. I stand up and propose that we talk while we're walking to the track and field club. Makidara answers with a Roger, and Yukika nods.
ユキッチの方が先に気づいてたよな。心当たり何かある？
With nothing to lose by trying, Makidara asks Yukika. Yukika tilts her head in thought for a while, but then becomes dejected, so nothing after all.
三綴さんのお付き合いなんてちょっと思いつかないな。
そうだよな。そうなるとだな。氷室くん、君の氷の脳細胞に期待するわけだな。
So she just asks me frankly when she doesn't know the answer herself, huh? And she says, I see brain cells like I'm sharp, but doesn't it sound more like I'm asleep instead?
難しいな。三綴城の知気旧式から蓋然性によって判断するしかあるまい。
知気旧式？蓋然性？カネさん、もうちょっとシンプルに生きようぜ。
つまり三綴さんの知り合いにそれっぽい人がいないかなって見当をつけてくってことだよね、カネちゃん。
I'm grateful for Yukika's quick understanding.
そうかそうか。で、誰あたりに？
そうだな。
A male that is connected to Mitsuzuri Ayako and has a possibility of ending up in a romantic relationship with her. I can probably eliminate any underclassmen, and the third years that graduated back in April can also be put aside. Look at her use her sleuth mind. In that case, there is someone. Just one guy with the potential to end up in a relationship with her. Oh, hell no. Try again. The third-year playboy at Homurahara that frequently shows up in my notebook.
マトウだ。
嘘だろ。
Makida's first words were those of shock. Yukika was apparently so stunned she couldn't even speak. It should not have been such a strange answer to them, though.
何を驚く？
Because it's wrong.
だってあのシンジのことだよな。2年の妹さんの麻藤さくらじゃなくて。
麻藤くんか。
It was quite impressive to see Yukika show such great disdain on her face. I understand why she wore such an expression. After all, Mato Shinji was a very notorious person some time ago.
いや、いくらなんでもそれはないんじゃないのか、氷室。
三綴城は弓道部部長、麻藤真司は副部長。2人の関わりは極めて深い。それに2年の頃の麻藤は確かに鼻持ちならない輩であったが、昨今は随分まともになっていると聞く。
No, still not him. Don't care. Try again. I had only heard about it though, and I didn't feel inclined to check if it was actually true. I cannot forget the humiliation I suffered in the past when he told me, "Ha ha ha ha, you're stuffy and your father's an important official in this town, so it's impossible for you to play with me, Himuro-san."
それだけで三綴とシンジが？あの二人弓道部でもいろいろ衝突してたって噂あったぞ。
それに注目すべきは2月のことだ。麻藤も確か三綴城と同じ病院に入院していたはずだ。2人は退院するまでかなり時間がかかったから、その病院で何らかの接触を持った可能性も否定できまい。
I feel that I may be forcing the facts together a bit too much, but I've decided to continue with this hypothesis until the end. No, you're forcing it. Please switch over to a different one.
同病相憐れむ。 ではないが、お互い入院生活で親近感を抱き、もともとの関係ゆえもあって恋愛関係に発展した。ありえないシナリオではない。
It isn't, but it's highly unlikely.
それに麻藤真司の変化が三釣城にもあるのだとすれば、それはそれで説得力を感じないか？
Mitsuzuri Ayako would surely restrain Mato Shinji's behavior even more if she were with him. Supposing that Mato Shinji's bad reputation as someone with a very rampant and irresponsible nature has lessened to a certain extent, it could be conjectured that it's due to a certain someone admonishing him.
おお、なるほど。そう考えればありえない話じゃないな。
三釣さんが麻藤君と
Yukika still doesn't seem convinced yet, but that is understandable. Makidera seemed to believe it for a moment, but then frowns.
でもな、麻藤真司っつったら本命は遠坂とばっかり思ってたけど。
何を言うか、牧野島承知のあの遠坂城だぞ。麻藤真司程度ではどうにもなるものではあるまい。それに同じ時期にかの恵宮が遠坂城と付き合い始めたと知って心境の変化ゆえに対象を変えたのかもしれない。
Could Makidera suddenly have gotten a facial neuralgia? When the names of Emiya and Tosaka are mentioned, the area around their cheeks stiffened. As someone who likes to act aloof and superior with Miss Tosaka, she probably considers Emiya her arch nemesis. Mitsuzuri Ayako and Mato Shinji, huh? Indeed, these two.
絵にならんな、このカップルは。
Yes, they don't.
出たよ、氷室の審美眼が。そういうところはうるさいな、相変わらず。
でもやっぱりそういうのは大事だと思う。
Even if Makidera doesn't understand, it's fine as long as Yukika does. After clearing my throat, I continue the conversation.
さて、これが三釣麻藤カップル説の概要だ。問題はこの可能性からどのように確証を得るのであるかだが。
三釣捕まえて聞くとか。
やってみるかね、牧野氏。
I respond coolly to Makidera's overly direct approach. Although I didn't say those words to try to pick a fight, Makidera lets out a grandiose "get" to show how much she doesn't want to.
冗談だろそれ。あの武芸達者の三釣にんなこと聞いてみろ。ギッタンギッタンにされるのがオチだ。そうだ、ユキッチなら三釣でも噛みつかないか。
私
Yukika would probably be a better choice to do this instead of Makidera. However, it would be unfair to suddenly make her do such a thing.
本人に尋ねてわかるものでもあるまい。欲しいのは傍証であり確証だ。こと恋愛に関しては当事者の意見が一番信用できない一面もある。
氷室様は無情なことをおっしゃるようで。じゃあ三釣本人もなし、真司もなし。お、そうなるといいのが一人いたぞ。
Makidera puffs off her chest with pride. Yukika and I stop walking and listen to her suggestion. After checking left and right, Makidera confidently says the name of the person she has in mind.
三釣みのりだ。
Ah.
1年の三釣さんの弟さん？
おお、いいところに目をつけたな。なるほど。現弓道部であるし、何より三釣城の実の弟だ。
Since he is a member of Mitsuzuri Ayako's family, his testimony is the best to use as a reference. Should he be inclined, we might be able to find out from him who the boyfriend is once and for all. After all, his position as a family member who lives together with Miss Mitsuzuri is different from us fellow classmates at Homurahara. Right? Makidera says triumphantly. However, Yukika tilted her head in thought, then eventually shook her head.
ダメだと思う。
どうしてさ、ユキッチ。
Makidera is confused at the sign of doubt expressed by someone unexpected. I also did not think Yukika would deny Mitsuzuri's little brother as a possible clue.
ユキコ、その心。
ほら、弟ってお姉ちゃんがどんな相手と付き合ってるのか知らないんじゃないのかな。うちの弟たちも私のことはまるで気にしないし。
ああ、そうだったね。いや、納得。
Makidera pouted due to having poked a sore spot for Yukika. Yukika certainly did have 4 younger brothers. Her words in the matter should therefore be placed in high regard.
言われてみればな。噂によると相当つっけんどんらしいし、弟くん。
ただでさえ姉と弟の関係がそうであるのに、ましてや弟さんのその性格が絡めば難航が予想されるな。うん。
We stopped walking. Allowing the investigation to suddenly come to a halt here would also mean defeat. Someone else, someone even closer to Mato Shinji than Mitsuri Ayako. Actually, isn't there an unexpectedly ideal person for this?
確かにいた。そうだな。彼女なら確実だろう。
Sakura? Or Tosaka?
お話って何ですか？
Oh, see?
牧寺先輩。
Mato Sakura. Mato Shinji's younger sister. It was quite simple. We couldn't ask Mitsuzuri Ayako's younger brother, so we merely changed our target to Mato Shinji's younger sister. Certainly a younger brother might not have any interest in her big sister's love life, but there's no way a younger sister wouldn't be interested in her big brother's activities in that regard.
ごめんな。あまり大したことじゃないんだけどね。
はい。部活関係のことでしょうか。
She is the current captain of the archery club. Her predecessor was Mitsuzuri Ayako. As someone involved, she is in ideal position to give testimony. The gentle face and beautiful Miss Mato looks uncomfortable for some reason. That's only natural. She's a second year, has been called up by herself to the backwoods by 3 third years. There's no way she would stay calm and composed.
このような場所に呼び出して申し訳ない。一つ、マトーさんに尋ねたいことがあって時間を取らせてもらった。
はい。
答えづらいことであれば、無理に答えていただかなくてもいい。
Saying that just makes more and more question marks appear above Mato Sakura's head. Makidera has the corners of her mouth turned down, and Yukika thus obviously can't settle down. I push up the temples of my glasses with my finger and take a deep breath.
貴女の兄、マトー真司のことで一つ尋ねたいことがある。
In an instant, the sound of leaves falling and piling up on the ground in the forest comes to a stop. That was how much her mood completely changed at the mention of Mato Shinji's name. A tense atmosphere that hesitates to even stir. She, I, and even Yukika forget to breathe and sink into silence.
兄さんがどうかしたのですか？
Her demeanor had suddenly changed. She gave off a feeling of clear trepidation and suspicion. I could tell that Makidera was starting to edge back. Yukika was merely shocked by this change in Miss Mato. Unlike myself, I spoke frantically.
些細なことだ。いや、むしろ下世話で老劣でくだらないことだ。なので、そんなに構えないでくれると助かるのだが。
Miss Mato is really not laying her guard down. Have I failed? No. It was completely unexpected for her to harbor such deep suspicion over matters involving Mato Shinji. Just what the heck is going on between this brother and sister? Therein must lay things that are difficult to understand. Something must have happened. An uncomfortable looking Makidera tugs on my sleeve.
やめた方がいいんじゃないの、氷室。
ここまで来てそうもいくまい。やめてもよいが、魔頭城に疑心暗鬼になられたままというのも居心地が悪い。私たち二人はそれでも構わないが、ユキカが不憫だ。
It's an awkward conversation. I shake my head slightly and ask the stone-faced Miss Mato.
鬼女の兄君、麻藤真司は三辻綾子と男女交際の関係にあるのか？
Miss Mato, wide in her eyes and was literally at a loss for words.
もう一回おっしゃっていただけますか、氷室先輩。
いや、だから麻藤真司と三辻綾子、すなわち君の兄君と君の先輩の元部長が今付き合っているのかどうかと。
Tell him no, Sakura. Please tell him no.
なんでそうなるんですか？
Yes. When you say it like that, I agree. Mato Shinji and Mitsuzuri Ayako are in a romantic relationship. When I say it again like that, this pairing is too unreasonable. It was something I understood deep down, but...
あのね、麻藤さん、
ここにおわす氷室先輩殿がな、どうも三辻元部長と付き合っているのは君の兄貴ではないかと当たりをつけたわけで、それを君なら知ってるんじゃないかなと。
まるで私に全て責任があるような口調ではないか、牧寺先輩殿。全くないとは言わないが、三辻城の男性関係に興味があるのはそもそも牧の字ではないか。
よくわからないんですけど。
Miss Mato is flustered. Since the usual conversation has started between me and Makidera, it is only natural that she would be confused when she was not aware of the prior details.
その様子からするとよほど意外と。
はい、兄さんが三辻先輩とお付き合いしていることはありえないと思います。やっぱりそうなんだ、麻藤さん。よかった。
Yukika is relieved, finally throwing off her reserve. She makes a gentle expression.
外れたな、氷室。座布団1枚没収だ。
持っていけるものなら座布団でも何でも持っていくがよい。ただ曖昧な可能性よりも明確に否定される方が調査には有用だ。
Makidera seems more disappointed than I am and grumbles beside me. I don't really understand how floor cushions act as a standard, but could it be that the hierarchy is decided by cushions at our home? Perhaps there are such feudalistic customs at old dry goods wholesale stores. I swallowed back a sigh. Though she had acted firmly until now, a dark cloud now hangs over Miss Mato as she opens her mouth to speak.
そもそも昔から兄さんは三辻先輩に苦手意識を持ってるんです。三辻先輩は兄さんをどう思っているのか存じませんが、それに兄さん部活ではちょっと。
いや、部外の人間に言いづらいことがあるのなら言わなくていい。我々はただ三辻城の交際相手に興味があるだけに過ぎない。
I emphasized that and tried to undo Mato Sakura's wariness against us. At this rate, we will tread into the seemingly serious issues between the Mato siblings instead of the matter of Mitsuzuri Ayako. Makidera calls out hey to the still pensive Miss Mato.
なんだ、シンジのことは別だ。もし何かあったらこっちも相談に乗るよ。あいつもね、もうちょっと相手を選んでればそう迷惑なやつでもないんだけど。
マキにそう言われると尋常ではなさそうに聞こえるな。彼の問題は。
Makidera retorts with shut up, while Miss Mato watches with an apologetic smile. I felt that we had asked something inexcusable in more ways than one, but I have to establish this clearly.
さて、時間を借りてすまなかった、マトウさん。
いえ、お気になさらずに、日村先輩。
最後に一つ。マトウさん、貴女は三辻綾子の交際相手に心当たりはないか？
Miss Mato's gaze swam above us. Did she have an idea, or was she hiding something she knew? Eventually, she nodded. Although we were in the middle of the woods in autumn, she gave a smile like blooming bud in spring.
竜道先輩なんか、三辻先輩の素敵なお相手ですね。
I mean, I can see it, but I feel like that's also not the case either. To be continued? What? Oh, I was about to say. Like, you can't leave me hanging like that.
なあ、どうするよ、日村。
どうするというと、やはりあのことか、牧野氏。
It fell upon us to solve this new enigma. Perhaps enigma would be an overstatement, but when the Mitsuri Mato theory was tragically disproven, it gave birth to an entirely new possibility. Huddled together before homeroom, the three of us convened to discuss this new development. Our topic was...
竜道くんと三辻さんか。お似合いのカップルだよね。
うん、絵になる。この上もなく絵になる。
If I remember correctly, she had a better rapport with Lancer, right?
何しろあの竜道一世だ。絵面という意味ではこれに勝る素材はありえない。
Yukika sighed with what seemed to me like an adoration. Ryudo Issei, the student council president who still holds the title of best-looking male student even into his senior year. He is an honor student as well and said to possess some degree of martial arts or martial skill despite his appearance. An honest-to-goodness Renaissance man whose talents shine in sharp contrast to that of the spoiled Mato Shinji. The relationship between him and Mitsuzuri Ayako. But Makidera didn't appear to accept this at all. She made her disapproval clear to Yukika and me.
絵になるって、絵になれば何でもいいのかよ。
重要ではないか。絵になれば世にある大方の物事は許されてしかるべきなのだ。
でもね、マキちゃん。竜道くんと三辻さんのお付き合い、素敵だなって思わない？
Yukika seemed quite happy with the idea after she heard it from Mato Sakura. An understandable reaction. There really would be the kind of beautiful couple one might paint a portrait of. A decorated hakama and a white shuramuku would represent a stunning contrast side to side, or even a sharp tuxedo alongside a snow white wedding dress. My inner artist immediately begins composing idealized images of the two. No criticism could be made of this match, if it were up to me, that is.
いやまあ、確かにそれは認めるけどさ。だけど、あの竜道一世が三辻と交際するなんて目がありえるか？私はないと思うけど。
マキちゃん、なんでかな？
なんでも何も、竜道会長は運動部嫌いで文化部びいきだっただろう。
確かにな。昨年度は予算絡みで大いに紛糾した記憶はある。
その竜道一世がだぞ。有力部活の弓道部部長、三綴に惚れるなんてありえるか？
Yukika seemed disappointed as she realized this as well. Makidera had a point. There was some logic to it, but she wasn't seeing the whole picture.
何も竜道一世が一個人である前に生徒会長であるわけでもなかろう。マキ、君が陸上部の牧寺楓であることが個人牧寺楓であることに優先するわけでもないよ。
いやー、あの会長様ならそれもありえなくもないって。何しろ未だに語り草になってる堅物だし。
確かにそれもある。だがそうなれば。
The three of us pull up our chairs, huddling even closer. In that case, this entire hypothesis would be invalid.
ロミオとジュリエットだ。
なんだそれは。
竜道くんと三綴さんがお互いに敵同士でも本当は好きなのってことかな。
No, the real enemies is Ryudo and Tosaka. Correct. Yeah, she's quicker on the uptake than Makidera.
つまりだ牧野氏、竜道一世は立場として運動部と対立せざるを得ない。そうなれば逆に数少ない女性部長である三綴城は彼の意識するところになる。なればこそ逆に敵であるからこそ男女の意識が生まれ恋が生まれる余地があろうかと。さらには敵対する立場というのは時に悲恋に染まりロマンチックに燃え上がる可能性もある。
Eh? Mused Makidera impressed? I wanted to smirk and comment that I totally made it sound like an opera, but...
なるほどね。三綴も竜道も道ならぬ恋にこそ燃えってわけか。
さよう。またこの説を取れば今まで三綴城と竜道一世との交際が露見しなかったことの説明にもなる。この世
お寺の子？誰？カネちゃん。
死刑竜道一世のことだ。
In my excitement, I called Ryudo Issei by a popular nickname. I appear to have gotten through to the two of them to a point. But while Yukika was positively in love with the idea, Makidera seemed to have a hard time accepting it. That may be, however.
竜道か。あいつ遠坂と仲悪かったよな。
仲が悪いというか急的だな。遠坂城と竜道会長の対峙は目下継続中だ。
なるほど。いいねそれ。
What's going on in that mind of hers? Makidera's face suddenly brightens, as if her prior skepticism had been a lie.
わかった。竜道と三綴をくっつけよ
う。発言の意図が不明確だぞ牧野氏。我々は別に三綴城と竜道の仲人になるわけではない。ただ
いいんだ氷室。重要なのはそこじゃない。そうか三綴め。竜道とくっつけば私にでかい顔もできまい。
Makidera was giggling with a bizarre delight. It made me want to wave my hand in front of her to check her sanity.
どうしようカネちゃん。マキちゃんの様子が変だよ。
大丈夫だユキカ。どこまで行っても牧野氏だからな。
じゃんじゃんじゃん。かっこいいなカネ。さすがは我が孔明よ。
Her voice echoed throughout the room like a gong. I couldn't tell if she was actually praising me or just getting carried away. I rubbed my temples to stave off my headache. It felt like we had gone completely off track.
カネちゃんが孔明だったら私は何かな。
ユキッチを三国志の武将に例えるのは難しいな。ロシュクとか。いや、そうじゃなく、また例によって証人探すんだろ。